Okay, y'all, we gotta talk about this. So, Diddy's team dropped not one but two letters at his sentencing hearing, the expedited hearing. They demand to get moved up. And baby, they dropped those letters like it was Black Friday at Target. Now, Bark Agnelio was clearly trying to lock in that sentencing schedule early, or so it appeared. And the question is, what was the rush? What's the emergency mark, right? Is Diddy trying to preheat the oven before the judge even picks the temperature? Now, listen, there's a couple of reasons for that. There was a letter dated July 8th, 2025, and it was submitted to the judge and outlines that what both sides have agreed to in terms of timeline. Mark said, Your Honor, the parties have met and conferred and agreed to the following schedules for sentencing. Post-verdict motions and submissions of offense conduct to the probation office. But here's the part that made my legal spidey sense tingle. Jenna, the defense proposes that the probation office provide the parties with a pre-sentence investigation
Present,
report
and
or
no
a PSR
longer has a
on or
voice who
before
will
August
pursue
29th,
justice for her
2025.
accusation.
That's over a month before
As of the
sentencing
taken against
hearing
Diddy,
scheduled on
no
October.
expansion
Now,
of
if you
the
guys don't remember,
investigation,
the night
no
before they
isolation
asked for
orders,
something on
no
September
equipment
22nd,
access,
then they moved
no
it back to
suspension
the
of attorney
original date of
communication.
October 3rd. Now, okay, and they wanted that. Now, that's not normal. It's not normal urgency. That's the we need time to spin this PSR like a DJ Khaled remix urgency. See, here's the thing. There's a strategy behind the sprint, much like Mark Agnipilio ran to the finish line when it came to Diddy's trial. Do y'all remember that? When it came to Diddy's trial, Mark was literally gangbanging and the court docket rushing because he wanted to speed it up. Again, when the facts aren't with you, the one thing that really helps is if you speed things up. All right. Now, here's the first rule of defense lawyering. When your client's name is trending next to sex trafficking. And make no mistake, the Mann Act is a sex crime, and it is one of the major crimes that people are convicted of when they can't prove sex trafficking. But since Diddy's name was trending next to sex trafficking and RICO, he only can do one thing, and that's control the narrative. And the PSR, that's the master document that tells the judge who the defendant really is. Every bad thing he's ever done, every whisper of uncharged conduct, and every time he kicked a puppy baby, it's all in there. So what I know what you're asking, tease to them, why does Diddy's team want this early? Because they're not trying to read it. They're trying to reframe it. If the PSR says he ran a mini empire of manipulation and mistreatment, the defense wants to preempt that with their own fairy tale. You know the one. He's a tortured genius. He's misunderstood mogul. He built schools in Zimbabwe with Shirobas. They need time to challenge the language, draft a sob story sentencing memo, and flood the court with character letters from assistants, nannies, and seal his friends on payroll. They're also trying to basically block whatever glow up the government is. But so here's the thing. The government was mad they lost. And they should be. That loss was humiliating. But it also just showed that the jury was idiots. That's my opinion, people. It's my opinion. But let's go back to that letter and keep reading. Jenna, the government's objections to the PSR be filed on or before September 12th. Probation office discloses their final PSR on September 18th. That gives the government, the prosecution, only 6 days to see the defense's edits and respond before the final version is locked in. This, much like the whole trial, is a procedural trap. The defense is trying to cut the feds off before they can insert more damaging facts like alleged witness tampering, obstruction. Those guns would have filed off serial numbers, or an ongoing investigation. Because remember, the final PSR locks in the tone. If the defense wins the narrative war, then the judge will read it before ever touching the prosecution's memo. Now get this, and it has to be said, and this is some good news. Diddy's team is spooked, and for good reason. Let's keep it real. Diddy is not prepping like someone who expects a slap on the wrist. He's prepping like a man who knows there's a storm coming. The letter continues. Jana, the defense sentencing memorandum be filed on before September 19th. Why such a tight grip on the timeline? Because they want their sob story in the judge's hands first, and they want it to sit there undisturbed while the prosecution memo trails behind. Also notice this little cherry on top. Yana, the government requests that it be permitted to submit its summary of the offense conduct on or before July 11th. And the defense does not object. Translation, y'all can say y'all peace, but we already booked the DJ, printed the programs, and picked out the outfit for sentencing. Baby, this isn't just legal strategy, it's damage control. This isn't about time, it's about containing the fallout before other victims come forward, before more evidence gets unsealed, and before the media turns the sentencing hearing into part 2 of the trial. And let's not forget, a PSR presencing report isn't just about prison time, it affects sentencing enhancement. Yes, those still apply. Restitution and financial penalties, Can somebody say forfeit eligibility for appeal and reputation and other pending investigations? Hello, California and New York State Pro. Now, we don't know if those are happening, but I'm just saying they're Diddy's people. The defense, they're trying to shape this document like it's a press release, not a criminal profile. So when you see Diddy's team hustling for early deadlines and micromanaging the court calendar, don't assume it's because they're efficient. Assume it's because they're worried. Because this PSR is about to reveal whether Diddy is going to be remembered
and no
as a
longer
music
has a
mogul or
voice
a
who will
federal
pursue
case study in
justice for
fallen
her
empires.
accusation.
The clock is ticking, and
As
no
of the
amount
taken
Chirac
against
is
Diddy,
going to water down
no
the
expansion of the
sentencing memo when the judge
investigation,
reads the
no
final report.
isolation
And
orders,
listen, you guys, there's
no
something
equipment
you need
access,
to remember. The
no
trial
suspension
isn't
of
over, and
attorney
neither are we.
communication.
Listen, I need everybody to hear me clearly right now. This trial is not over. Yes, the verdict came down, but the story, the consequences, the impact, that is still unfolding, and we have a say in how it ends. Let me tell you something I know from covering this every single day. The courtroom doesn't end at the judge's bench. It extends to the streets, to the headlines, and yes, to social media. Don't let them fool you. Don't let Diddy's team spin this into some redemption arc. They're already trying. They literally filed 2 letters in less than 24 hours. They're pushing for early sentencing documents. They want the PSR in their hands now so they can scrub it, twist it, dress it up in Chirac and crocodile tears and sell it back to the public like it's the truth. And why? Because they know the narrative is still in play. They know people are watching. They know you are watching. And anybody in the comments saying, move on, it's over. They're trolls. They're being disingenuous. They know it's not over. They just want us to be over it. And make no mistake, the system is watching us too. Judges, prosecutors, even those jurors, they're human. They read the comment, they feel the outrage, they feel the pressure, and sometimes that's the only thing that keeps a door from quietly closing behind corruption. Because let's not forget, a juror was allegedly discussing this case before deliberation even began, and they were discussing it with each other. They may have disobeyed the judge's orders. And when that verdict came down, it didn't sound like justice, it sounded like a vibe, like a decision made from feeling, not fact, emotion, not evidence. That's why the judge hasn't signed off on anything yet, and that's why there's tension in the air. And that's where we come in. You guys, we have to stay loud. We have to stay smart. We have to stay focused. Don't let Diddy's team rebrand this as some misunderstood mogul redemption tour. Don't let them weaponize black culture to protect black predators. Don't let them drown out the victims for press releases, gifting sweets in cash-stuffed envelopes. Because if we go silent now, and we disengage just because the jury said not guilty, we're telling every survivor, every whistleboy, every scared employee, you were right to stay quiet. Nah, no. Not here and not now. We're not giving Diddy the last word. So if you're tired, rest. But then get up and keep talking. Keep posting. Keep questioning. Keep dismantling the illusion brick by branded brick. Because this trial might be over on paper, but in the court of public memory, baby, it's just getting started. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. Y'all think this trial, you think this Mark Agnelio hurry up thing, do you think that's gonna work? I mean, it did work the first time, but you know what? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later.